I spent 10 days in Spain, and I'm bringing you along for the adventure. This trip was a gift, and it was absolutely amazing.
It's basically a miracle.
I saw a lot of Spain. I traveled in a way that I've never experienced before, and I'm here to share all of it. We're picking up in this episode where we left off in part 1.
Barely anyone speaks English in this part of Spain that I've been in.
In this episode, we experienced some bizarre stuff.
It freaking stunk up the place, and who does that?
We averted getting taken advantage of.
Sometimes you gotta just stand your ground. It's important.
We experienced some amazing synchronicities.
So amazing little synchronistic moments are happening.
And more.
Fabulous. Wow.
Welcome to part 2 of this epic adventure.
It's considered normal to like have a beer with breakfast. Is that?
Yeah. People here.
Wow, this coffee beverage is already sweetened. It's super sweet. It's a cafe con leche, which I guess is equal parts coffee and like scalding hot milk. But it seems like way more milk and less coffee and sugar because it's sweet. But anyways, I am here bright and freaking early because we have a massive long day of incredible excursions. So we're gonna see some epic stuff today, you guys. I am so blessed. It's gonna be a lot of getting around, but wow. Some of the destinations that we're headed to just seem spectacular. As you can see, it's still dark out, and right now it's 6:45 a.m.
Like when you think of the typical Spanish person, what are they doing in their day?
I'm not really sure because I'm not the typical Spanish person. So I follow like the American culture, American way of life. But if I like look to my friends, they would like wake up, they will like go to school or work. Then they are gonna have like a coffee or like a beer with like the classmates or workmates. Then they are gonna like sleep siesta if they don't work or they don't study. And then they are gonna be like doing chores or whatever they have to do and like probably going to the bar. Like here people love like hanging out with others, like sitting, enjoying a phenomenal beer, a phenomenal coffee, like some olives, some tapas, and yeah, those kind of things. Here people are very chill.
I was actually given a choice by the retreat people who sponsored my trip to do their yoga retreat today or to do this excursion, and I chose to do this excursion. This is my map of Spain. It's not perfect, it's just to give us an idea of everywhere that I traveled, and unfortunately my camera decided to film this vertically, so I had to flip it in my editing program and now it's backwards. But it can still give us an idea, so we're still going to use it. All the destinations on here already are places that we visited in part 1. Today on our excursions, we're going to be going from Candas to Gijón to Covadonga, as well as 2 other towns around this area.
Okay.
The first place we went were to the lakes of Covadonga. These are known as a natural wonder surrounded by mountains in Asturias in the north of Spain. The mountains surrounding the lakes were so beautiful, and the nature of this area was a paradise to explore. It was feeding all my senses with the wonderment of this creation.
I was told that we're in a bit of a miracle situation here because apparently it is raining all throughout Spain except for the area that we are in on our day of really sightseeing and exploration. So
this was a great place to hike around and explore, and also seemed like the perfect place for a picnic. A unique experience of this area was the sound of the cowbells that were worn by all the free-range cows in the area. A funny thing is that Mia, who's my guide on my entire trip, wasn't able to come with me today because she had to stay back and help with the yoga retreat. But she told me later that the tour guide for this day was calling her multiple times, all worried about me.
it's basically a miracle. And I'm not just saying that, like, that's how it was described to me as well. And we're like in this little pocket of wonderful weather. Such a blessing.
Because I was venturing off on my own and I literally had no idea. There's a language barrier. Neither of us spoke each other's languages, so we couldn't communicate. But she did give me what time I had to be back to the bus at each destination, so I thought it was totally fine if I went off by myself, just as long as I was back on time. Right now, we're in this town of Spain that's really geared towards tourists coming and spending money, and a lot of the restaurants are more expensive and really geared towards tourists. So I was walking around looking for a little local spot that would be a bit cheaper and just have basic local stuff to eat. And so I found this one spot and it looked like a local spot and I was like, all right. And it had a picture of the thing that I wanted to get outside and it said €5 30. And that was with a drink and everything. And then I went in there. By the way, barely anyone speaks English in this part of Spain that I've been in. It's like really more rare that someone speaks English. So most people I can't really communicate with. And so I was trying to explain what I wanted. And the guy was trying to charge me €18. And I was like, hey, I saw it on the picture and it said €5 30 for the thing with like a drink and something else. And he was like, oh, that's for dinner. And I was like, oh, really? And, I thought he's just trying to make me spend more money because he knows I'm a tourist. Obviously, I only speak English. And so I was like, oh, well, can I use the toilet then? And he was like, yeah, okay. And then I went and used the toilet and I came out and he was like, this is what you want? He's like, sit down. And I was like, sit down? How much you going to charge me? And we had to do a Google Translate thing. And I was like, the cost? And he said €2. I was like, €2? All right, now we're in business. So I sat down. He was like, do you want a drink? And I was like, yeah, I'll have a beer. And the total meal came out to €4 50. I actually have the receipt right here. A little bit less than €18 that he was legit. And like, I know that thing that's like super common throughout Spain, the tortilla de patatas. I hope I'm saying what that is properly. I might not be. Super common and like not €18 unless you're a tourist that doesn't know what the hell is going on. So yeah, that was an interesting thing. You got to keep your feelers up when you're in a place and like you're obviously a tourist. Like it doesn't get more I'm obviously a tourist than me, someone who only speaks English and has like a very Hollywood type accent. So anyways, that was a really interesting experience. And there's this one guy who was like local, like people would come in there and say what's up to him. So I could tell that like he goes to that spot a lot. And he was kind of laughing at the whole situation. He was trying to talk to me. I couldn't really talk to him because he speaks French, but so, when you're a tourist traveling around, you got to keep your feelers up. Like people try to take advantage. So I just want to share that experience because, yeah, that type of stuff can happen. And
stand your ground. Sometimes you gotta just stand your ground. It's important. It's considered normal to like have a beer with breakfast. Is that?
Yeah. People here have like beers with like these like very typical food, okay, that you can get like either for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. That is called tortilla de patatas, right? That it's basically like egg and like potato, and you have like different shapes. You can have like triangle shape or like circle shape. I personally prefer the circle one, but like some people prefer the triangle one. But yeah, people here have beers, have like coffees, have like tortillas like all day long. So yeah, you don't really have a norm for anything.
This is a pilgrimage site and a very important piece of history in this area. The Battle of Covadonga took place here in 722 AD. It was the first Christian victory in the effort to expel the Moors from the Iberian Peninsula. Legend has it that the leader of the Battle of Covadonga was seeking refuge in the cave and saw the Virgin Mary, and he prayed to her. He attributed the miraculous win over the Moors to their encounter. Because of that miracle, the king ordered that the sanctuary be built in this location.
This place is incredible. So right up there, it's like this little temple in the side of the mountain. It's a place of prayer.
The sanctuary here was carved into the mountainside and it overlooks a waterfall. It's truly a beautiful sight, and it's super crazy to think about everything that took place in this area.
That temple reminds me of my travels in India and all these little nooks and crannies where these like amazing temples and places of prayer are. And it is reminding me of that.
The waterfall beneath the altar has a large pool of water with a path beside it, and you follow the path and it leads you to a fountain.
Wow, this has been the most incredible blessing. I had no idea that I would be able to drink fresh spring water from Spain. If you guys know anything about me, you know I have an incredible love of spring water and of drinking it everywhere I possibly can from any land, anywhere. So I'm just buzzing right now.
People drink from this fountain of natural waters because of the healing powers these waters are believed to possess. Las Tres is a fishing village and is known for being one of the most beautiful villages in Spain. A really funny thing happened because when we were driving in the bus, I actually thought that this was where we were staying. There's something about the coastal line that looked so similar when we were driving through on the bus to the coastal line of Candas, which is where we were staying, that I thought this was where we were staying. And I told the bus driver and the guide, I said, I want to get off here. This is where I'm staying. It doesn't make sense that I have to go all the way to Gijón because Mia had to meet me there and bring me back, and it seemed like a hassle that could be averted. Needless to say, this was not where we were staying, and the tour guide contacted my guide, Mia, all concerned, was like, she's trying to escape, she's trying to leave us, she's trying to escape, and Mia's like, what is going on here? And I'm like, oh, my bad, I thought this was where we were staying. I'm not trying to escape. I think the tour guide was just pretty worried about me in general because I kept trying to do my own thing, and then she thought I was trying to escape and that I would get lost in the village.
As you can see here, now we're in the rain.
So a bizarre thing happened here at my hotel. I put this red panel up for the cleaning lady not to come in and clean my room because they use this like product that smells and I didn't want them to clean it and make it smelly. See, I have my windows open now.
And I'm only here in this hotel for 2 days. Like, I didn't need it to be cleaned, and I had like my stuff thrown around everywhere, and I just didn't need a cleaning lady coming in and cleaning. And so I put this red panel that says do not disturb and they're not supposed to come in. Well, the cleaning lady freaking violated that, and Mia has a room right next to me, and she like knocked on Mia's door to clean her room, and she had a panel on her door too, but she was here. I was out on my excursion today. And she said, okay, well, I'll just go clean your friend's room next door. And then Mia was like, I think she has a panel on too. She doesn't want it cleaned. And the cleaning lady was like, I think she'll appreciate a good mopping, and like opened my door and went in there and like saw that I had like clothes and stuff. I had stuff spread all over the place. And she was like, look how dirty it is. It needs a cleaning. And like came in and cleaned my room. And so it freaking stunk up the place. And who does that? Who just comes in and violates the sign with also a person saying, no, like, don't go in there? It was just bizarre. Weird things are happening. I'm not even kidding you. And I ended up telling reception about it because I just don't think that's cool. Like, they need to know what's going on, because if you have that sign, the cleaning lady's not supposed to come in your room. And they called the cleaning lady, and the cleaning lady's response was, Mia said that I should go in and clean the bathroom, which that's not what Mia said. And even if Mia did say that, it's not Mia's room, it's my room. I had that thing on. I didn't want anyone to go in. So there's this whole drama about it. And now the reception is calling Mia to find out if Mia told the lady to come clean in here. And she didn't. So it's this weird kerfuffle.
That's like an old sardine factory. Like in the past, that was all full of sardines. You can see that in the picture. And like now they are using it for during the festival.
Oh, wow. Good morning, everybody. It is day 6 here in Spain, and I am going to a yoga retreat all day today here in Spain. Right here. When I was originally gifted this trip to Spain, I thought a lot more of it was going to be spent in a retreat style situation, doing lots of yoga, meditation, and more stationary in one place. But my mind was broadened as to what a retreat can be, and they do all different types of retreats, travel retreats. So my mind has been broadened to what a retreat can actually be. Something that blew my mind here was that the yoga mat right in front of me had a star on it. I looked around and no other yoga mat had a star. It was such an incredible synchronistic moment. How long have you been drinking matcha?
12 years.
Wow, every day. Do you mind if I film this?
No, I'm gonna do it too.
This is wonderful.
You drink
Yeah, you
matcha?
have such beautiful skin. I'm like,
Thank
wow,
you.
maybe the matcha.
Well, I think it contributes to it.
It probably does.
Yes, it does. But also my genetics are. the same.
Ah.
My mother is the same.
Oh, well, does she drink matcha?
No,
Coffee?
no.
Ah.
Yeah, coffee a lot actually.
Well, I guess you're just lucky.
Well, also Korean products are really good.
Oh, I gotta get some Korean products.
Yes, I do have them in my shop.
Ah.
I don't have them here. So you need 70 milliliters of water at 80 degrees Celsius, and then you need 3 grams of matcha or less, depends on your palate and your taste.
Okay.
And you just whisk it for about a minute with the chasen, which is this tool is made by
Yeah, I got
hand
it too,
from
yeah.
just a single piece.
I'm ready to try it.
Well, so in the tea ceremony,
Cheers!
Cheers, California!
in the tea ceremony you drink it just raw. but
Yeah.
and with a sweet usually. I don't have today, but with a sweet first and then the matcha. And as you can notice, it's not bitter.
That's
Fabulous.
matcha. That's
Wow.
matcha.
Amazing.
Have you ever drink matcha?
Yes.
Yeah,
I
me
was
too.
I was drinking a lot of matcha, and then I've been on a coffee tip for like the last 4 months. But after this, I'm probably after I leave Spain, because Spain is such a coffee culture.
Yes.
How long do people spend at a cafe or at dinner?
It actually depends on like the person, like, but they can spend there for like maximum like 10 hours. Like you can enter there at like 9 in the morning for breakfast, and if you like hang out with your friends, you can leave like after all day. You can just like have beer after beer, like drink after drink. But yeah, some people stay for like an hour, for 2, like for 3. Like it just depends. But people really love like bars, cafes, and yeah, this kind of stuff. It's cool.
After the day's yoga and matcha festivities, we made the journey from Candas to Lyon.
Well, my friends, it is a glorious morning and something amazing has happened. So I was talking to this South Korean woman and she was like, you must go to Lyon if you can. There's the most amazing stained glass. Apparently, according to her, some of the most amazing stained glass in the world. And she was like, there are no words. Like, she was so touched by it, she couldn't even express how incredible it was. And so I told Mia, I was like, Mia, we gotta go see this stained glass. And we were supposed to go to Madrid last night, but there was another train strike, so we couldn't. And we found this route to stay here in Leon, go see the stained glass, and then head to Madrid tomorrow, or no, tonight. So it really worked out, and little things like that have been happening so much. Even the Korean woman, she really wanted to find some kimchi, and she couldn't find a Korean restaurant anywhere, and she couldn't find kimchi. I kid you not, the next day, outside of where the yoga festival was happening, there was this little stand, and I got this bowl with all this cool little healthy stuff. And I kid you not, it was like a Korean kimchi, amazing kimchi actually, bowl the day after that encounter. So amazing little synchronistic moments are happening. There's a bee like humping the wood. There's another one. That is crazy. Wow. That's curious.
While we check out this awesome city, I just want to let you guys know what happened with the hotel receptionist that I complained to. She actually turned out to be one of my subscribers. She didn't say anything about it until we were leaving and she told Mia. When Mia told me this, I was completely blown away. Small world. And if you're watching, hey, what's up? Thank you for being so awesome, and I'm glad it was smiles and laughs all around. Wow. We have made it to the cathedral, and as you can see, it is absolutely phenomenal. We actually thought these little
tiny buildings in comparison were the cathedral, and then the street opened up to this like grand experience. And now we're gonna go inside.
The Cathedral of Lyon is a Catholic church, and it's known for its mind-blowing Gothic architecture. It was so cool walking around and looking at everything. It was gorgeous.
We're walking inside. Oh my goodness.
This cathedral is known for taking this Gothic art to the extreme. They reduced the walls as much as possible and replaced them as much as they could by stained glass. And this is known to be one of the largest collections of medieval stained glass in the world. One thing that particularly fascinated me was how in the 19th century they did a huge renovation and they took out every piece of stained glass, stored it for years, restored it, and then put it all back in. To me, it just sounded like a monumental effort, and it was truly fascinating. Thanks so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the thumbs up button and consider subscribing. You're not going to want to miss part 3. If you're watching this in real time, I'll have part 3 coming up for you next time. And if not, part 1 and part 3 will be linked in the description box below. Thanks so much for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.